Welcome to Hungarian Insights, your go-to channel for exploring Hungary's rich history, vibrant culture, and language learning resources. Whether you're a student planning to study in Hungary, an expat eager to grasp the nation's heritage, an individual preparing for the Hungarian citizenship exam, or a bilingual student seeking to complement your studies, our podcasts serve as a captivating starting point, and our smart, modern learning tips and resources are tailored to make your journey enjoyable and effective.
Welcome to Hungary Insight Podcast. I'm Mark, and we have in the studio Emma.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Emma. Today we're taking a deep dive, into the origins of the Hungarian people
Okay.
and their arrival in the Carpathian Basin. It's a really fascinating topic.
It is.
And I think there's still a lot of mystery surrounding it.
Yeah, a lot of debate still surrounds the origins of the Hungarian people.
Absolutely. So we've got these different theories. We've got
Yeah.
some evidence, and it really has implications for understanding Hungarian identity.
Right, and for understanding kind of how Hungarians see themselves.
Exactly. So let's start with the officially recognized one, the Finno-Ugric theory.
Okay.
And this suggests a linguistic connection between Hungarian and languages spoken in the Ural Mountains region. So linking the Magyars to groups like the Finns and Estonians.
Right, and I mean, that makes sense when you consider that languages often reflect those ancient migrations and interactions between different groups.
For sure, but as you can imagine, this theory hasn't been without its critics.
No, not at all.
Right.
Some see it as downplaying a distinct Hungarian identity.
Yeah, I could see that.
They argue that it was even used by past rulers, like the Habsburgs, to suggest that Hungarians were simply newcomers to the Carpathian Basin.
Right.
And that would undermine any claims to a long-standing presence in the region.
Totally. So then we have this Central Asian theory, which kind of adds another layer to the debate.
It does.
Right. And this theory draws on origin myths, archaeological finding, and even anthropological studies to propose a kinship with groups like the Scythians, the Huns, and the Avars.
Yeah, so instead of migrating from the north, this theory suggests a connection to powerful empires that once roamed the Eurasian steppes.
Yeah, it paints a very different picture.
It does, and for some it aligns with a desire to connect Hungarian heritage to a more glorious and expansive past.
Right. And then we have this third theory, which kind of throws a wrench into everything.
We do.
The Carpathian Basin homeland theory.
Right, the idea that the Hungarians might have actually originated in the Carpathian Basin itself, migrated eastward at some point, and then returned in a grand reconquest in 895 AD.
Right, so this completely flips the script.
It does. It challenges the notion of the Magyars as outsiders arriving in a new land.
Right.
Instead, it frames their arrival as a return to their ancestral homeland, which resonates with a sense of deep historical roots in the region.
Yeah, so we've got these three competing theories, and it's important to emphasize that none of them are without their flaws.
Absolutely.
Or their proponents.
Right.
It's an ongoing debate, and new research could always shift the balance of evidence.
Absolutely. That's what makes history so interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of events, let's turn our attention to that pivotal year 895 AD.
Okay.
That's when the Magyars, led by Arpad, enter the Carpathian Basin, marking a real turning point in the region's history.
Picture this, around 400,000 people on horseback and in wagons.
Wow.
Making their way through the Varic Pass, entering a land that would become their new home.
Yeah, it's almost hard to grasp the scale of that.
It is.
And it raises so many questions like, what motivated this migration? What was their society like? What did they believe in?
Well, before we get into those questions, let's acknowledge that the way we view this event depends on which origin theory we lean towards.
Of course.
If we follow the Carpathian Basin homeland theory, then this isn't a migration, but a reconquest of a land they considered rightfully theirs.
That's a really important point because it shows how our interpretation of the past can shape the way we understand the present.
Yeah, absolutely.
So regardless of which theory we subscribe to, one thing is clear.
What's that?
The arrival of the Magyars in the Carpathian Basin had a profound impact on the region's history and culture.
Absolutely. To understand that impact, we need to delve into the culture and beliefs of these early Magyars.
Okay.
They weren't simply a nomadic horde.
Right.
They had a complex and sophisticated society.
For example, they had their own writing system, the Hovasius, which was used to record everything from simple messages to chronicles and even poetry.
And this writing system predates the adoption of the Latin alphabet.
Wow.
It demonstrates that the Magyars had a rich literary tradition and a desire to preserve their knowledge and stories.
Yeah, and their pre-Christian belief system is particularly fascinating.
It is.
It revolved around the concept of a world tree, symbolizing three realms: the underworld, the middle world, which is Earth, and the upper world.
The world tree served as a powerful symbol of the interconnectedness of all things.
Right.
A cosmic axis linking the different realms of existence.
I like that.
It reflects a worldview that saw nature as sacred and imbued with spiritual significance.
And we see this reverence for nature in their symbolic figures, like the Turul,
Yes.
a majestic falcon often seen as a divine messenger, and the Sudozarvas, the wonder stag that guided them on their journeys.
These weren't just mythological creatures, they represented core values and beliefs.
Right.
The Turul soaring high above embodied strength, freedom, and a connection to the divine.
Okay.
The Sotozarvas leading the way through forests and plains symbolized guidance, protection, and the pursuit of one's destiny.
So these symbols and stories offer a glimpse into the rich spiritual world of the early Magyars.
They do.
They weren't just warriors and horsemen. They were a people with a deep connection to nature and a belief system that helped them make sense of the world around them.
It's important to remember that this rich cultural tapestry existed before the arrival of Christianity.
Right.
Which would, of course, have a profound impact on Hungarian society and identity.
But before we dive into the Christianization of Hungary,
Yes.
let's talk about a period that really cemented the Magyars' reputation across Europe.
Okay.
The era of the Kalandozása,
Oh, yes.
the daring raids that sent shivers down the spines of kings and emperors.
Those legendary raids that took the Magyars across vast distances, reaching France, Italy, Spain,
Wow.
and even the Byzantine Empire. These weren't just random acts of plunder. They were highly organized military campaigns that demonstrated the Magyars' incredible equestrian skills and strategic brilliance.
Imagine the fear that they must have inspired these swift horsemen appearing seemingly out of nowhere,
Right.
striking with lightning speed and then vanishing back into the vastness of the steppes.
They became the stuff of legends, both feared and admired for their audacity and military prowess.
Yeah, for sure. So were these raids just motivated by material gain?
Well, some historians suggest they were driven by a sense of historical grievance, a belief that they were reclaiming treasures and territories that had been unjustly taken from their ancestors.
So they saw themselves as righting past wrongs,
Potentially.
reclaiming what they believed was rightfully theirs.
Exactly.
That adds a whole new layer of complexity to their motivations.
It does, and it's important to remember that history is often written by the victors.
Of course.
The Kalandozása, while seen as disruptive and even terrifying by those on the receiving end, were likely viewed as acts of heroism and righteous vengeance by the Magyars themselves.
That's such a great point, and it reminds us that there are always multiple perspectives to consider when studying history.
Always.
It's about understanding the context, the motivations, and the different narratives that shape our understanding of the past.
And these Kalandozása weren't just about making a statement, we reclaiming lost glory.
Right.
They also played a crucial role in shaping the future of the Hungarian people.
Yeah, I mean, these early victories, such as the Battle of Pressburg in 907,
Yes.
helped solidify their claim to the Carpathian Basin and establish them as a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
It's a crucial turning point in their journey from nomadic warriors to the founders of a powerful kingdom.
But before we explore that transformation, we need to understand the impact of these raids on the Magyars themselves.
Okay.
How did these experiences shape their identity, their military tactics, and their relationship with the rest of Europe?
Those are some excellent questions,
They are.
and we'll delve into those complexities in the next part of our deep dive.
Our podcast discussions are based on our ebook, Hungary's Hall of Fame in a Nutshell. History, literature, art, music, science, sport. Scan the QR code or check the link in the description to download your copy of Hungary's Hall of Fame in a Nutshell. As a special bonus, you'll also receive the Illustrated Companion, featuring over 100 detailed illustrations to visually enrich your understanding of the book's content. Thank you for watching.